Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'd like to call the special meeting for the town of Smoky Lake for purposes of discussing public works and personnel to order at 5:03 p.m. The town of Smoky Lake respectfully acknowledges that we are situated on Treaty 6 territory, the traditional lands of First Nations and Métis people. Welcome, everyone in chamber. And administration, thank you for accommodating us for the special meeting, and welcome everybody online today. So the first part of it is about public works, and that would not be in closed session. And I don't think I have anything prepared that would be outside of a conversation that we need to have. So the way this will roll out is it's formatted in 6 brief questions and a comment, a recap, and then perhaps 3 or 4 motions. Okay. So the first question I'd like to ask is, in the Public Works Department, are we currently using the model or plan that we used in previous years for operations of the daily, weekly, monthly, seasonal duty sheets or logs? I'd like to direct that question to you, Molly.
So despite trying to find previous logs, or like you mean our daily checklist, essentially?
Yeah.
Administratively, I've been told that those do not exist. I did come across a very basic checklist, but it wasn't organized in a way that would be like solid work plans, daily, weekly, monthly, seasonal. That's something we have developed that I have here right today, that we are utilizing now with the crew right now.
Okay, so this is good news then. Well, not great news, because we did have them even when I worked for the organization. They existed and they were a roadmap to ensuring that the tasks were being done. So okay, so question number 2, just to maybe recap, when was our public works manager's last day?
His last day is this Friday, so he helped us administratively in the field last week, and this week he has been completing all of the documents, the draft business plans that we've been working on, wrapping up the last of all of the council reports that he had currently started. So that Friday is his last day.
So that would be Friday,
23rd.
January
23rd.
23rd. Okay, thank you. No, tomorrow. Okay,
Yeah, tomorrow.
thank you. You had a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, we discussed this at our last meeting, and initially,
Right. I think this, no, never mind, sorry.
we discussed this at the last meeting, and initially you didn't know when he was leaving, and our HR girl said that he was leaving on the Friday. So what transpired between then and now that he's got an extra week?
The ability to have resumed the administrative meeting that I had mentioned, that was actually in closed session when we discussed that, but I had mentioned to council that I hadn't had a chance to formally, in regards to his last day.
Yeah, no, it was, sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt. So we had discussed it in open session, it wasn't closed, because it was on one of the reports that he was leaving soon. It was on the report.
Okay, might have been talked about twice. Either way, that was public. I did mention that I needed a chance to speak to him administratively. He did submit his resignation via email over the Christmas break. So coming back, I needed time to figure out that plan with him. And again, the HR representative was speaking without, having had that chance to talk to him one-on-one. That was up to me as a CAO to do. So that's what has transpired since I was able to sit down and come up with that plan to help transition all of the last remaining pieces over.
Okay, well, and thank you for updating us on that then. So then I have the third question. So does Public Works have and use a carbide tip blade for the grader?
Or a scarifier blade, one or the other. Yeah, scarifier.
And it's okay if you don't know the answer right now. We can have that as a takeaway. It was just a comment that came forward and we are just getting some information, so we want to ensure that that particular blade is compatible to
The greater.
grader and getting down to the pavement through the ice.
And a lot of the problem that we had was, the grader operator simply did not, when he was blading, he didn't put any pressure on that blade whatsoever. He
Yeah.
wasn't up there
So
to
what,
actually rip,
Yeah.
and that machine can do it.
okay,
But he just wasn't in a position to put his blade down and actually do a job.
okay.
Yeah, because Mother Nature did give us the window. Gave us 6 or 7 days of beautiful weather that
Of course.
was the ability to recoup.
Okay, and part of the meeting tonight is putting everything on the table, ensuring that we have the proper equipment, we're building a plan, and that we're running to get to efficiency. So we'll leave that as a takeaway.
I do, yeah, in terms of what exact blade it is, that is an operational question I would have to look into. I do know that they were doing maintenance on the blade today.
Fair. Am I okay? I'm gonna continue. Maybe question number 4, Councillor Scarf, would you like to ask a question or regarding the?
No, but when can we find out about that blade?
Oh, I just have to talk to the supplier too,
Well,
and they'll explain
how-
it to you.
okay. so
But I wanna
how-
know if it exists. Was that question answered and I missed it?
Oh, no. So how about, would it be possible, maybe, tomorrow's Friday, John's still with us, maybe just an email? Would that be okay, Molly, or is that? Sure. Okay, so we'll just,
No.
we don't need a motion, we're just gonna follow up, we'll get an email. Do we have, for the grader that we're using now, do we have the carbide tip blade or?
Scarifier.
Scarifier.
Yeah, we just need to know, do we
Yeah.
have it, or is it something that February 10th, we're going into a budget meeting, is it something that we need to budget for? Okay. So number 4, council just wants an update on the outdoor rink. If you could just walk us through that.
Yeah, I had asked our team lead this same question about the rink, and they were trying to get it done. He had sent me a message here. I asked the same thing in the FCSS meeting. They are trying to get it fully ready for this upcoming week. It was gonna be too cold to work with the liner currently right now. And so meaning as soon as the weather warms up a bit for them to work with the liner is what I was told in terms of when they were gonna be working on that.
Do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, I just think that is, so they started working on it. I don't know if you're aware, Molly, they started working on it a long time ago. Before Christmas, before the snow, it was weeks and weeks up, because I know this because my son went. So my son went to try to get on the rink after, it was a week after I'd seen them, because I thought, within a week, it's been cold enough, they should have the ice up. It wasn't there. He went a couple weeks later, it still wasn't there. Then the crazy snowfall happened. Now the snowfall it's given us that window. Mother Nature has given us that window, and now it's been weeks and it's still not up. And so I just think if that's a service that we've offered to the community, it needs to be done or it needs to be taken away. We've invested into that rink. I know that rink probably cost, because we bought one ourselves for our own. Those rinks are $8,000 to $10,000 unless you get them set, privately or secondhand. So we've invested money into that. So I think we should know when it should be up, and we should be able to advertise that for our community.
Yeah. And that's why I had asked because I said I was wondering about us getting that information out to the public, because I myself had walked past it and had the same question.
I know for a fact Wasetna's has been operational for quite a while.
Oh, of
Yeah,
course.
Well,
Our kids go there all the time.
yeah.
Of course,
So
like,
I guess the frustrating thing from the community's perspective and from my perspective as a mother of a child who uses that is that it's supposed to be a service that we provide. So that it feels like a letdown from the public works that they do not have it done, and that you as administration doesn't know when it should be up or when it was gonna be up. There's no expectation for it to be up.
Yeah, and I myself have personally never seen it, of course, this
So, yeah, and
very,
So I'm just gathering the information and excuse me, or sorry for interrupting, and sorry for interrupting Molly, but so previous council had a motion to go ahead with it, and I saw that it was being put up on fall after Pumpkin Fair when
Right after
the
Pumpkin Fair.
amusement parks were out of there. And so then what we're saying, what I'm gathering, what is being said tonight is it has never been operational this season.
Absolutely not. No, it hasn't been operational, not once.
They
It's not
have
even-
the like the guards, the wall, like I don't know what the proper term
The
is,
perimeter of it.
perimeter, yeah. And that's what I've been watching, and then that's why I had asked, but
Because the
I just-
liner goes in when the walls go in.
I just seen that myself personally in action when I was doing a run through town. So part of why I've asked for the seasonal work plans is so that I also know what we typically do, because I don't know what I don't know as well.
Right.
And to make sure that we are being proactive and have,
Right.
Well, that's where
And
the
a-
manager came into play.
A lot of information, but here's the disappointing part is we need to move away from the reactive to the
Mhm.
proactive. So it never came from the previous manager or anyone in Public Works that this is not being, we're not here, we're not ready to open, we're not using it. Despite the weather conditions and they've been fluctuating or the snow. And so now we're in January and council should not have to bring up things. This should be a part of the
Day-to-day.
operations.
Yeah.
Tegan, you had a good point there that, you know, it should have been in November.
And a rink takes quite a bit of maintenance. So if our community has proposed to put this rink in for the community members, which they don't have a lot of access to rinks here. They don't have a lot of access to outdoor activities in this
Yeah.
town. Our Public Works does not have a huge job in terms of, you know, a ton of things to keep up. But this rink does take work to keep up. So the fact that it hasn't been, first of all, installed yet, let alone shoveled or Zamboni, whatever they were doing last year, all of that takes time. And so the fact that the Public Works, for me, hasn't done that yet is a big disappointment. And it's what's the right word? It's the Public Works have let the community down.
See, right now, we have a possibility of 6 weeks of use of that rink.
Yeah.
By the end of February, it could be done.
That's
So-
correct.
Yeah.
You know, 6
Okay.
weeks into
It's
the.
been noted. I think I can take this away. Follow up on.
Yeah, and so maybe it might be a motion coming forward at the end of this meeting or at the end of this part. Okay, so I'm on the fifth question. Do we have an annual updated contractor list? So the workload, there's lots of snow, it's a heavy
Yeah.
workload. Do we have people that we can access in terms of contracting?
Public Works has a list, however, I don't think it's built large enough for proper contingency, and that is something that I have asked Public Works to make sure that we have more additional resources. That's why I raised as a councillor Churn about an additional resource to build on that. So they have one, yes, but I'm asking them to build it larger and better.
Okay, and a lot of things, give me one sec. A lot of things stem from now we have vacancy and so at the end of the day, Molly, as our CAO, this all falls on you, okay? So we want to set everything up for success. Do we have a plan? Are we moving forward? Or are there still some things that we have to work out? So if you just give me a sec to finish. So when we speak about the contractors, I'm going to, because we're policymakers, I'm gonna ask, because I looked through the website and I don't see anything, but do we have a policy for hiring private contractors for the trucks or the equipment or the operators?
We have a procurement policy that we have to follow, so if it comes underneath that monetary value, then we are able to, and it's in the snow removal policy as well, that we hire contractors as needed. So it has to be in line with our budget and our purchasing policy.
But we know that our contractors carry their own insurance and so we have a policy, is that what you're saying?
I have like this for a new policy that we need, we should actually have a vendor policy. Just for the organization as a whole, it's not specific to Public Works, it's most municipalities, no, or some have a policy where the vendors are on an active list and you can rotate through them on a daily labor basis, which we do not have. We have a contractor list, but it would be great to work towards a policy where all of those pieces are clearly laid out.
Thank you
Do
for
you
that.
have the policy or does the public works manager have the policy? Sorry.
They have a contractor list, they have their contractor list, we do
But
not
now
have a
that
policy.
we're losing the manager, do you have that list?
No, I do not have that list. Say,
So-
the team lead has that list
Yeah.
and they call the contractors when they need.
So, sorry, and before I go on to Nestor, I would just say, in researching for this meeting, I noticed on the County of Smoky Lake website, they do have a policy
Mhm.
for contractors.
Yeah, that's something similar that we should work towards. We do not have that.
So that will probably be coming back in a motion. Go ahead, Nestor.
Yeah.
Just that one point you brought up a while ago, proaction and reaction.
That's
Seems
where
like
we're here
there's more
tonight.
reaction than proaction.
There's a list of policies about this that I think we're missing, and so we have to
You know,
work through
like,
that.
there's comes times that, rather than referring to a list of policies, just refer to simple common sense.
Noted.
Yeah. Okay, and thank you for that. So, that takes us to one of the sixth question in this Public Works, and then we're gonna, as I said, we're gonna do some comments, we're gonna recap, and then we're gonna do the motions, okay? So the last question I have, and brought forward from a community member, are, so where we're at today, January 22nd, are all our hydrants in the town of Smoky Lake accessible?
Accessible meaning like no snow blocking.
Yeah,
That's right.
They
Open for business.
Public Works said they didn't inspect that, and they actually were talking to me about flushing as well today in terms of some spring activities, so we're trying to work towards that. But they did say that they inspected, and to my knowledge,
So
You
that's
haven't
a
answered the
yes?
question, are they open?
to my knowledge, they have been making sure that they have been going around to double check on those areas.
Have they confirmed
cleanup.
it with you? Told you that they are done with them?
Well,
They said they inspected the areas.
so maybe that's something that you can confirm tomorrow.
Yeah, to my knowledge, they are.
Okay, so we have the Public Works Manager, his last day is tomorrow. If we can get something in, I would like something that says, I don't even know how many hydrants we have, like even something in a report that would come back to us maybe for the next meeting. And if we have 124 hydrants, that we know that they're all uncovered from snow.
Accessible.
And simple, just 124 hydrants, all have been inspected, all are clear,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Like sometimes when I hear a report, I'm like, what are we expecting, something long? So I think being very
No.
clear with our expectations on it. How many hydrants, are they all inspected
Okay,
and clear or not?
Bang, bang, bang.
okay,
And I just got a notice, just because it message about the Scarifier blade, it's on this week apparently. So we have one.
so and it's been used this week or?
Yeah, they said it was on this week.
So today's Thursday, so when they did the back alleys?
I didn't ask for an exact date, I asked if we had one.
Okay.
We have one.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now I'm going
The
to,
evidence of.
yeah, there's usually a fuss up that ice.
All I know is we have
Okay.
one.
Can you recognize, if a Scarifier blade has been used or not?
Me personally,
we're gonna,
Okay.
That's correct.
we're gonna come back in the motion and do that, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So now, just to recap, here's what council sees. Did you wanna help?
I was just gonna ask about the parks, because that was one other thing that was brought up to me this week
Go ahead.
from a mother. Are the parks, is it the responsibility of the town and is it one of our service levels that there's a clear pathway to the parks for kids to play? Like to the Red Park, which is our responsibility, the Kinsman Park, to the school park. Is that part of Public Works? Can you look into that?
no, they do the walking trails, but I don't know, like, you mean if they lead right up into the
Yeah.
playground
Like
area?
I went to the playground yesterday just to see, and it was past my knee to walk to the playground. So
So again, it's
in the
not,
past,
yeah,
it's been cleared.
Okay.
There's been a pathway, almost just one skid straight to the park. Because that black tire stuff, the snow melts on it typically, but if it doesn't, the park was normally cleared as well. Like loose clearing around. I don't know if that's one of our service levels, but I'd like to know.
It's recognized in the snow policy as one of the priorities, number 4, I believe. And in the past, when permitted, I think they took the blower and just would blow the snow. But I could be wrong, and that is somewhat operational, but I'm sure.
But right now it's not done, so I think at this point it is a concern of councils.
So I'm sure that our CAO is noting that, and So am I okay to move on to the recap?
Yes.
So this is what council sees, and I'm just gonna read it. I prepared the information. On Monday, January 19th, it was posted on the website that the Public Works is clearing the back alleys. And we received an email on January 20th. The council was updated that Public Works is almost finished clearing the snow. There was maybe a couple back alleys left, and so now we've cleared the snow. From the snowfall was on December 27th, and if we look back, it's 26 calendar days. So yeah, there was many factors that contributed to the delays, like equipment breakdowns, Christmas holidays, staffing issues, varying weather and temperature conditions, increased annual snowfall, staff illness, and communication. Do you think I've missed anything?
Is that 27 working days?
27 calendar days.
Yeah,
Okay.
27 calendar days. Right, so snowfall was, they started on December 27th and to January 20th, okay? So this is my observation, or council can join me in this. Never in the last 25 years has snow clearing in the town of Smoky Lake been such a problem of this magnitude or taken so long. And this is what I'm also hearing from residents, as I'm sure everyone is. This is unacceptable in terms of economic development and our businesses that contribute huge tax dollars. It's very disappointing, and not only to our businesses, but our residents and the patrons that visit the businesses, our visitors, and to everyone. I saw a 90-year-old man climbing a snowbank to get to cross the sidewalk to get inside the IDA. We had the garbage truck get stuck. We had the ambulance get stuck. I just found out that one of our sidewalks the other day, a lady was taken to emerge. She, I think, broke her arm. She had slipped on the sidewalk. So all of these things contribute to what we need to achieve here. And so in my mind, 26 calendar days to clear the streets of snow and ice is too long. And I think council agrees with me.
Yes.
And we recognize that this can't happen again. This council is committed to reducing operational expenses and increasing service levels. So although I think although I've said I'm disappointed, maybe I don't understand, and maybe council doesn't understand. Maybe this is the length of time that's required to do the job properly, or maybe we need to look at what we can support or add resources to. But currently, this situation is problematic, and so we need to look ahead for some solutions. So what I want to propose through motions is a way to get closer to recognizing what we need. We have a budget meeting coming up February 10th. Do we have the necessary equipment? Do we have the necessary resources in terms of contractors, staffing, whatever we can do? So we know we came from where we did with 26 days. Is that what we should expect, or can we increase our time? So I'd like council to look at the first motion is, let's have a report. So I'm going to make a motion that directs administration to present it's called a post-mortem report, and I might be dating myself, but that means that kind of a written report on the town of Smoky Lake snow removal and street clearing from December 27th, 2025 to January 21st, 2026, to be presented at the regular council meeting on February 5th. Okay. And the second sentence to this motion is the summary report should include operational performances of total kilometers cleared, total employee hours worked, total contracted hours, and it can identify process improvements and additional resources needed. And if I need to give the motion again, I'd be happy to do so.
Yeah.
or I can email it, after the meeting.
Okay.
So any discussion on this could be, the reason I'm putting forward this motion is I'd like to have some data to show, as we go into that meeting. I mentioned February 10th, we're having a budget meeting for operations. And who knows, maybe based on the report that we're gonna see on February 5th, that is the right amount of time that we do need, 26 days. And that would be, in order to achieve our current service levels. So that, again, council will be making an informed decision based on what we've experienced and what we need to aspire to. Okay, any more discussion on the motion?
Can you repeat that again, just for me?
Okay, for the motion? Yeah, okay. The motion is to direct administration to present a post-mortem written report on the town of Smoky Lake snow removal and street clearing from December 27th, 2025 to January 21st, 2026, to be presented at the regular council meeting on February 5th. The summary report should include operational performances of total kilometers cleared, total employee hours worked, total contracted hours, and identify process improvements or additional resources needed. Thank you. Calling the question, all in favor? Okay, the motion is carried. Any opposed? No, it's carried, sorry.
No.
Were you gonna say something?
Just something that's really playing on my mind right now that I can't get out of my mind is, and maybe you need to ask Public Works this if you haven't already, Molly. Why, if we had the proper blade that would cut down, the blade that we're referring to, that would cut down and grind up the snow,
Scarifier, yeah.
Scarifier?
Scarifier. Yeah.
Why would it not have been put on this entire time if we had it? So if we had it in the shop, why was it only put on this week? Could you ask that?
I'll ask that. Yeah, and that'll be part of this. So,
Thank you.
Okay. And yeah, I think that once we have that report, we'll all be headed in the right direction. And especially if we have a new person coming to join the organization. So, okay, so I think, I'm contemplating the second motion, and that was referring to reinstate the daily, weekly, monthly, and annual work plans for Public Works. But I think you've got that underway.
we currently have it, yeah, implementing it with the team as we speak, and that's a fairly operational motion, I would.
Yeah, and a lot of these motions are operational.
I just don't understand why. And Molly, it's not 100% on you, but I guess it is on you because you're an employee. It's all the stuff that this town functioned for 100 years, and a lot of stuff was developed over many years. And we just, for whatever reason, we can't find all these policies or this information. It seems like it's all somewhere in some void computer got thrown out the window. And like, we're not asking to reinvent the wheel. I think the wheel's already turning. I think there's just a bunch of people maybe they seen that you didn't have the knowledge of being through a winter here, but they never stepped up to the plate to assist you with what they knew or what they didn't want to do, or in what they did want to do. And because it seems like everything we're asking, it's just, wow, geez, never heard of that. This town function, there's been a lot of really good people that sat here, and I could trust that they made good decisions through the years.
So, if you don't mind, I'm gonna try and field that question. So when I worked here, I wasn't working in Public Works or in admin, but we used to have an H drive, and it was a computer that held all the information, and we've had people with the organization for a long time. So maybe in the process, it has been not implemented, or it's gone, who knows, with computers. So I get what you're saying, and I think we're we're gonna give this a try, that you're reinstating them. And so we're on the path, and if council has to come back and visit this at, in a time period maybe, or the direction for administration is to just check with the people that have been here a long period of time.
Yeah, and there, you know, there are changes that we are all facing in terms of leadership as well. And what I can say is that I've spent a lot of time with Public Works over the last week or so, figuring out how we're gonna move forward in a way where everybody is very clear on the roles, expectations, and the processes that we need to adhere to daily, weekly, monthly, annually. And I'm ensuring that it's a process that's driven from the ground up, that everybody has input to ensure that knowledge is we have employees that have been here for some time, and I want to leverage that and make that part of the process, and I want the buy-in and engagement. And you know, like, I have some plans right in front of me now that they're not brand new, no. But there needs to be a different process in terms of making sure we're all working as a team and being proactive. And that's the leadership element that I'm working on right now and it's not gonna be fixed overnight. There's a lot of cleanup. But
And you know what, as hard as it probably was to say that, I think council needed to hear that. So we're on our way, and we're going to look at what we can do in terms of what roles the council has to strengthen that and support that initiative that we're underway at cleaning it up. Is that fair to say then?
well, and I think it's fair to say that there are a lot of great things that our Public Works team currently is doing, and I think we need to recognize that.
Absolutely.
It's an employee morale thing, it's a leadership thing, it's all hands on deck. And it's also at this table too, where our staff need to hear that they have their respect and support, and we all move forward as a team.
You're right, and 100%, I guarantee that. And I support that. Going into Christmas on December 23rd, our streets, they were cleared, they were 10 out of 10, okay? They were perfect, and we have a good team. We have some very qualified people that are enthusiastic and that want to do the best they can, and they are, and we're very grateful for that.
I think in another breath though, it's really great to have team morale, but if a department is failing, which the Public Works have failed us in the snow removal system, and they have, like, there's no way to argue that or to say no, they haven't. It has been worse than it's ever been, and we can't almost reward it.
Exactly.
So it's about team morale, but if I'm doing poorly or if something has fallen off the rails in my job, it's my boss is not gonna encourage me and say, well done on all the good things. The good things are expected. You're expected to work well. And if I'm failing in somewhere, that's where the boss comes in and says, he doesn't have to remind me of all the great things I've done, which I'm sure you do. It's good to remind our Public Works sometimes. But there's also a time where it's like, you failed us and now you have to fix it.
Look where you put us.
Yeah. Meaning you're wanting to yell at our Public Works.
So, okay, so, and Public Works doesn't report to us. We're all part of this, the team to move forward. So I just want to get us back on track. I'm going to ask for another motion. I can read it out. And the motion would be to direct administration to create a contractor hiring policy and to be brought back to the February 17th meeting. And yeah, I know it's a lot of work, Molly, but I think we're in this season of snow removal. If we get a large snowfall again and we're relying on contractors, I just want to make sure that we're backed by
This is priority right now.
Yeah. So I'll repeat the motion, and would anyone like to make it at this time?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, so Councillor Scarp has the motion to direct administration to create a contractor hiring policy to be brought back to the February 17th regular council meeting. All in favor? The motion is carried. Okay, and then the last motion, and I think I'll just make it myself, or it could be the second last. Okay, so the motion is, I'm gonna direct, the motion is to direct administration to contact the Smoky Lake County to request and set up a meeting in early February to discuss and explore options for subcontracting public works duties between the town and county. And before I call the question, the discussion on this, I want to send a very clear message. This by no means is, I'm going on record to say no one is losing their jobs. No one is getting fired or replaced. This is for the sole purpose of becoming more efficient. And we know that we have dedicated, well-trained staff and we have our own equipment. But right now, we don't have a foreman. And so I want to look at what the discussions are. So we're going to get back the information, the report on February 5th. We're going to kind of see how much it cost us to run our program. We're going to have some information in terms of how many kilometers were graded. And then we're going to maybe have that discussion with just explore the options. What can the county, how can we work together? So do you need me to repeat the motion, Molly, or?
Contracting services specific to public works or specific to snow removal or?
The motion I have written down here is direct administration to contact Smoky Lake County to request and set up a meeting in early February to discuss and explore options for subcontracting public works duties between the town and the county. Okay, all in favor? The motion is carried. Would you like to add something to that, or was there a friendly amendment?
Are we limited just to explore the county, or are we limited, or
Well,
could we explore other avenues?
for now, I think because they're our neighbor and we're in the same area, let's just see where this takes us and then maybe build a plan from there. This was about is just forming a plan and knowing that we are going to take ourselves from reactive to proactive and see what the options are for our planning. Okay, that is the first part of the meeting. If there's no more discussion, the second part of the meeting is the personnel. And I think we'll be going into closed session for that. So the motion would be that the council would go into closed session to discuss the following matter for personnel pursuant to access to information, ATIA section 20, disclosure harmful to personal privacy at 5:40 p.m. All in favor? I have the motion and the motion is carried.